Hello, my friends. This is Barry, and you're watching Barry and the PI. My last video, I talked about where to live, whether you should buy a house or rent a house, and I got quite a few comments on that. And uh, I mean, if you're single and just coming here to have fun, you don't need to buy a house. But if you really want to live here and you plan on living here until you die, um, buying a house is a good thing. If you've got a wife that's you've been married to for 20 years or more, buying a house is a good idea. But if you're single and just planning on coming and finding you somebody, it's better just to rent a house and save your money and go travel around. That's the best way to find a girl. You won't find them in the bars, but you'll find them and you'll have fun with them, but you don't want to necessarily marry them. So get out in the province and find you a good province girl, and you'll live a good life. Today I want to talk about how to get around the Philippines. There's many ways to get around the Philippines. The fastest way is by plane, and there's several carriers here. Of course, Philippine Airlines and its subsidiaries. Cebu Pacific also operates here for traveling between the islands, and Air Asia and Cebu Pacific. So you have several choices, and they're usually pretty decent. You do have to report an hour ahead of time your flight, so you got to sitting around. And if they cancel your flight, then you have to wait until the next one. Which what happened with us when we went to Boracay. They canceled our flight, and then we had to wait another hour or so for the next flight to Boracay. Another way of getting around the islands is by ferry. There's various types of ferries. There's a fast ferry. I don't think they carry cargo. I don't know if you can take your car on a fast ferry or not. You'll have to just check in. And there's some other ferries that do carry, you can drive your car onto the ferry and then off the ferry. That's why they call them ro-ros, roll on, roll off ferries. They're not as fast as the fast ferry, and not as comfortable. And then there's also the slow boat to China ferry, which takes you a hell of a long time to get where you want to go. It's over 20 hours to get from Manila to Iloilo, and that was a tough ride for me. So, but they've got them going to all the islands. You can find a ferry somewhere. You can also drive. You can drive from the northern side of Luzon and all the way down to Mindanao. And I think it's like a 3-day, 2-night trip. But you can get them. And if you do, try to get a suite, but you have to reserve ahead of time. Because every time I've gone and tried to get on in a suite, your own private suite, those have been already bought. So otherwise you stay in kind of a dormitory style with bunk beds piled up all over the place. And they're fine. I found that I would spend a lot of time outside because I like to look at the water and the ocean and seas. So I go out there and smoke my cigarette and pass my time a lot sitting outside. And then you can take a Bianca, a little boat with a bamboo stuff sticking off the side so you don't overturn. And they're everywhere. Some expats that moved here and live with a wife on the coast, some of them have a boat built for them, a Bianca boat built for them. And they operate trips around the islands or fishing trips or tour guides trips around. And they make a business out of it. I don't know how well they're doing though, but I guess they make enough money to keep it up. I've thought about that myself till we decided to live inland and not on the coast. The coast is not far from us, so, but I'm not going to start that kind of business, I don't think. And but driving your car, you can go all to every island in the archipelago. So those are the best ways to get around. They're an experience. And they have different port cities that have these ferries. But you can take it and you can drive down all the way down to Matdanog and take a ferry over to Samar, and then drive down Samar over to Leyte, and then catch another ferry going Cebu or Bohol or Mindanao. So you can get around, but remember, traffic. That's the thing you've got to worry about. If you're driving, it's going to take you a long time. In other words, it took us from here down to Bicol about 12 hours of driving on a sometimes 2-lane highway. And along with road work being done on the roads, buses, trucks, jeepneys, motorcycles galore. It's quite an experience. Don't plan on getting there just, oh, that's only 200 miles. You can do that. Or 100 miles. Or it's going to be slow driving. Sit back, let your driver do the driving, your wife, and enjoy just watching the pretty girls along the road and the trees and the jungle, or if you're on the coast, enjoy the beautiful scenery of the coast. So you can get around here. So it's just according to your budget, uh, what kind of experiences you want. You know, it's always an experience. Uh, so as always, you can take a flight. They have them regularly to the major cities throughout the islands. But it's definitely worth it. There's so many things to see and do. One of them is festivals. One of the biggest festivals will be coming up in a couple of more months. In January, I believe it is. It's a Diniyang Festival in Ilo City. If you haven't made your reservations, you better get going now if you want to go to it, because the hotel rooms fill up very fast, and you might end up having to go to another town on Panay Island near to Ilo and drive back and forth. But we were lucky. We have our oldest daughter lives in Ilo City, and she managed to find a hotel room for us in a brand new hotel, and it was real nice. That festival is, I've got a couple of videos about it. It's the Diniyang Festival, and it's one of the biggest ones in the Philippines. It draws in hundreds of thousands of people. So it's definitely worth going to. So don't worry about getting around. You got many choices. Of course, there's always the buses. Just be careful taking one through the mountain provinces up north, because it can be pretty squirrely going around those mountain roads, sharp turns, cliff dropping down a few hundred feet on one side, and a mountain itself on the other side. Don't think you're going to be able to catch an ambulance to get to you anytime soon. So, and just one thing I do recommend, wherever you go here, find the local or provincial or national tourism agencies, their office. They will have all kinds of information for what to see and what to do. There's a festival going on, they'll tell you, have all that information for you. Excuse me, I'm still got that cold. I'm feeling good, but still have that cough. But they're just very welcoming, very friendly. They'll be able to speak English, and you'll be glad you stopped in there. So always do that, and you'll get the best out of your trip. So, all right, I've rambled on. Oh, when you get to Manila, if you come in, go to a national bookstore and buy this Philippine Islands Road Map. I've had this 5 years and it's about falling apart, but I've got to get me a new one. And it's only about $3.50 or something like that. But it'll show you road maps to all over all the islands. Good to have. especially if you're going to drive. So be sure to pick you up one when you arrive in Manila. There's national bookstores all over the Philippines, and all the malls, uh, and different other places in Manila. So get you one of those, and safe travels. And I know you'll be happy travels, as you will enjoy it. All right, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this information, and I hope it helps you make your decisions where you want to travel to. And the map's fascinating to see all the different islands around. Uh, so enjoy, uh, take care of your family, take care of your kids, take care of your pets, and have a safe and great day. We just had a little rain earlier. Uh, it's pretty nice. Oh, let me show you my powder puff bush. That's blooming like really well now. That was a kind of an expensive plant I got when we first got here, and I think it was $50 or $100 or something like that. And they only had one left, so I got it. Anyway, adios amigos and amigas. See you later.